it is Dani'i and welcome to this update video. I trust and hope that you are doing really amazing. So as I've mentioned in many videos, we are in our dry season, and what I want to take a look at is the forecast as we're going to be progressing into throughout the rest of January and even into the month of February. Because some places in the Caribbean, some places may experience above average rainfall for the time of year. There may be a little bit more rain than typical for this time of year. For others, it could be drier than normal. So we're going to be taking a look at that in this video, along with the current precipitation forecast, because especially in the Eastern Caribbean, there's undoubtedly been some rainfall activity, some intermittent showers. So for parts of our Lesser Antilles, you can let me know what's been going on for you. Surely there has been some rain moving by every now and again right throughout the day. That's been the typical kind of weather. So let's get straight into the details. Now, looking at the satellite imagery of the Caribbean, we're not seeing a whole lot here on the infrared satellite, but there's quite a bit of these low-level clouds which are coming in from the east or northeast and helping to influence the rainfall for the region. So that's been the typical kind of story. There's been a bit more action towards parts of Central America as well, and as such there could be quite a bit of rain as we head into the next day or so. So let's go ahead and look at that rainfall forecast. Now this is what is forecast from the Euro model, and the more color we see indicates more rainfall activity. So towards parts of southern Central America, the southeasternmost part of Nicaragua, going to Costa Rica, Panama, and even the islands of San Andres and Providencia, included within those more colorful shadings, those yellows, oranges, reds popping up on the screen there. So that is a sign that, hey, there could be some substantial rainfall within this general area. And as it pertains to other areas, the ABC Islands, the Lesser Antilles, Trinidad and Tobago, all the way north through Anguilla, we can see these green shadings, these spots of greens, lighter and darker shadings of green. Not a whole lot of rain, but that general intermittent rain pattern is likely to continue with the moisture coming down from the northeast or even from the east. Similar thing for the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and parts of Hispaniola. For much of Cuba, things are going to be on the drier side. Similar thing for the Cayman Islands and much of Jamaica. A few areas may experience some passing showers here and there, but generally for Jamaica, we're not going to be experiencing a whole lot of rainfall over the next day. And then as we head further north, parts of the Bahamas, some passing showers definitely possible. And it's also been cool for many of us. It's hot in the day for sure, especially if you're not getting any rain or not experiencing any overcast weather. But we get the cooler air in the night. Well, naturally because it's nighttime, because there's no sunlight, but also because of the fact that we've had the cooler air that's loitering across parts of the Atlantic offshore the United States. So as these cold fronts make their way down, they bring with them the cooler air mass. So that has been helping to influence our weather as well, especially in the more elevated areas. It's been quite cool. It's been quite comfortable. You know, you can sleep comfortably at night with this weather. I love it for sure. So we still have some loitering cooler air. But as for the Caribbean on a whole, I'm not seeing, based on the forecast, that we're going to be having a massive cool down. So let's take a look at the temperature anomaly forecast. Now, this is from our GFS model here. And with this, the blue shadings are indicative of the cooler air mass. Now, as we're going to be headed into the next several days, take a look at this. We see the cooler air come down, and it mostly stops right off the northern part of the Caribbean. We don't see it extending far south into the region. So it's really going to be the northernmost islands, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos as well, that will be experiencing some of the cooler weather being influenced by these fronts that make their way down. So again, it's not going to be an extensive cool down across the entirety of the region, but it could certainly be cooler than normal for some areas, especially when there isn't a whole when there is the rainfall activity or just overcast conditions. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be taking a look at the rainfall and the forecast as we're going to be heading through the rest of January and even into February. So this graphic here, this is from the climate forecast system, one of our climate models. Now the green shadings indicate areas of above normal rain. The yellow shadings indicate areas where below normal or less rain than normal is anticipated. So as we look at this, we can see that for parts of Central America, also the southeastern states, let's not leave out the United States. So again, we're going to have all that activity coming down, all these, the cooler and warmer air mass interacting to form these frontal boundaries. So surely there's going to be some above average rain in parts of the southeastern U.S., parts of the Gulf Coast states, and even headed a bit further north. And then for parts of the, for Central America, sections of Mexico, Belize, even headed to parts of Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, there could be some above average rain. Maybe for a few spots in Jamaica, but for the entire island on a whole, we're seeing that white shade and indicating that, hey, things could be pretty much normal. So we're not going to see a huge variation from what is typical at this time of year. Headed to parts of the eastern section of the Dominican Republic, go into the Lesser Antilles down to Trinidad, Tobago. We can also see parts of South America, the Guyanas, included within that green shading as well. So those are the areas which may experience some above average rain. It may not be anything crazy, but there could just be a bit more rain than normal. And then for other areas, Cuba, Haiti, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, things are likely to be on the drier side. For the Cayman Islands, things can be a bit near the normal kind of weather that is experienced for this time of year. And then as we look throughout the month of February from the climate forecast system, let's take a look at it generally for the month. We see that it's still the Lesser Antilles, which will likely remain a bit active in terms of experiencing more rain than typical. It doesn't mean there will be rain every day, all day. It just means that there could be more rain than what is normal for the time of year. So Lesser Antilles, parts of South America, go into Central America, much of Central America in the month of February may experience a bit more rain than normal. Other areas, the Bay Islands of Honduras, go into Jamaica, parts of Haiti, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos may experience, even Bermuda out there may experience drier than normal conditions. So one thing I want to emphasize as well, with the dry season kicking in, these drier than normal conditions anticipated, one of the most important things at this time of year is conserving on water. There's many ways you can do that. Instead of just using the hose to wash your vehicle, you can get a bucket and use that so that you're not using up a whole lot of water instead of taking these long baths. A nice brief shower that works as well. So there are many ways for us to conserve water, and this is a time of year in many places where we hear about the drought, the water systems going down in many places because there's just not enough because of the lack of rainfall. So it's very crucial at this time of year for us to conserve on water as best as possible. So yeah, that's what's typically, that's what is anticipated, guys. And of course, I'll be continuing with my updates as necessary. But this is basically what I wanted to bring to your attention. So we got a cooler air in some areas for parts of the Caribbean. Some places will be drier than normal. Some will be a bit wetter. Some will be pretty much near average. Not a huge variation. But yeah, I just wanted to bring to your attention what is on the horizon, guys. So that is it for this video today. I trust and hope that you have enjoyed it and you learned something new. And if you have any questions, though, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. I will get to you when I have the chance to do so. And remember to always be weatherwise.